Claude Code just took a big leap, moving from a coding assistant to a hands-off autonomous developer. What does that mean for your dev workflows? We're also talking about an acquisition that validates AI security as a huge market and new tech that could drop your inference latency by 10 times. What products aren't you building because of speed limits? No BS AI briefing, brought to you by Proactive AI. Welcome back. I'm your host Vikash, and this is where builders get straightforward AI news without the fluff. Alright, let's dive into some high signal items that hit my radar today, August 14th. First up, Anthropic's Claude Code has made its auto mode the default for Pro, Max, and Team plans. Now, in plain English, this isn't just a small feature tweak, it's a fundamental shift in how you interact with AI for coding tasks. Previously, you'd give Claude Code a command and it would execute it, then wait for your explicit approval for the next step. That meant a lot of back and forth, a lot of hitting enter or approve. But with auto mode, Anthropic's built in a risk assessing classifier that can now execute multi-step workflows autonomously. They're saying internal testing shows a surprisingly low 13.6% human review rate, which means most sequences, most of the work can now run hands-off. For builders, this is a big deal. Think about complex refactoring jobs, debugging a tricky section of code, or even automating parts of your deployment pipeline. This lowers the friction considerably, enabling much more hands-off coding assistance. It really starts to shift the entire user experience toward autonomous execution, pushing AI from being just a tool you wield to more of an agent you direct. Next, we saw some significant consolidation in the AI space. Datavault AI Inc. announced an all-cash deal to acquire CyberCatch for $94.5 million. CyberCatch is an AI-enabled cybersecurity and continuous compliance platform. Now, this isn't just another tech acquisition, it's a really strong signal for us builders. It tells us a couple of things. One, there's serious demand and value in AI-driven compliance, automation, and cybersecurity. If you're building in this niche or thinking about it, this acquisition validates it as a major category. Two, for founders and indie hackers, it clearly demonstrates a viable exit path. When you see established players like Datavault AI putting nearly $100 million cash on the table for an AI-focused compliance company, it confirms that there's a strong appetite for buying solutions that address critical enterprise needs with AI. It's a sign the market is maturing and those pain points around security and compliance are becoming expensive enough that companies are willing to pay for intelligent automation. And finally, something that could profoundly impact real-time AI applications. COG launched a new GPU Inference Optimization Engine. This is a software-only solution, which is key here. It's not requiring you to buy new hardware. It's designed to squeeze more performance out of standard data center GPUs, specifically mentioning AMD MI300X and NVIDIA H200 cards. COG is citing some impressive benchmarks like 3000 tokens per second, and they've already got 200 business leads in their tech preview phase with just an 11 engineer team. Why does this matter for builders? Well, if you're working on anything requiring real-time responses, think agentic workflows, conversational AI, or applications where latency is a critical factor. These kinds of optimization engines are gold. They offer latency and cost gains without the massive capital expenditure of entirely new hardware. It means you could potentially run more complex models, serve more users, or enable faster, more dynamic AI interactions within your products, all while keeping your infrastructure costs in check. It's about getting more out of what you already have, and that's a win for almost any builder. Now, out of those stories, the biggest one for me today, the one I think really signals a shift for builders, is Anthropic's Claude Code making auto mode the default. This is more than just a minor update. It's a practical bridge taking us from simply using AI as a tool to leveraging it as a truly agentic partner in our development workflows. So what exactly happened here? As we touched on, Claude Code's auto mode now becomes the default for Pro, Max, and team users. This means instead of the old paradigm where you'd give a command, wait for the AI to execute it, then manually approve the next step. Now, Anthropic's built a risk assessing classifier right into the system. This classifier looks at the task, understands its potential implications, and if it deems the risk low enough, it'll just execute the next step and the next and the next. Their internal tests are showing that only about 13.6% of these multi-step sequences actually require human review. So the vast majority can just run autonomously end to end. It's crucial to understand this isn't a new, more powerful base model. It's a sophisticated user experience and workflow change built on top of their existing capabilities. Why does this matter right now for you, the builder? Because this pushes AI coding firmly into the let it run territory. It's a huge leap in developer productivity, particularly for those multi step, often tedious coding tasks. Imagine offloading a complex multi file refactoring effort or generating extensive test suites across several components, or even automating a code deployment pipeline with significantly less human supervision. This is where AI begins to genuinely feel like a co pilot that can take the wheel for extended periods rather than just waiting for your constant input. It shifts your role from micromanaging individual commands to setting high level goals and overseeing the entire process. Who should really care about this? Well, if you're a founder, this could dramatically accelerate your product development cycles. Can you prototype new features faster? Can you iterate on your code base with fewer engineering hours? It might even allow you to build more sophisticated products with leaner teams. For product managers, well, think about the features you might be able to scope that were previously too complex or time consuming due to the engineering effort involved. What if code quality checks, refactoring, or even generating API documentation could be largely automated and happen in the background? Then you've got more time to focus on strategic product decisions. Engineering leaders will need to figure out how to best integrate this into their existing CI CD pipelines and team workflows. It's going to demand new approaches to observability and guardrails. How do you trust the AI and how do you quickly intervene if something goes off track? And for the indie hackers, this is a massive force multiplier. The ability to tackle more complex, multi stage coding projects with less friction means you can achieve significantly more on your own, pushing the boundaries of what a single person can build. Now, how would I think about this as a builder? My mental model here shifts from AI as a fancy text editor to AI as a junior developer who's really good at following instructions and knows when to ask for help. Think about it this way: you wouldn't tell a junior developer to rewrite your entire database schema without checking in, right? But you'd certainly trust them to refactor a specific module, fix a series of minor bugs, or write unit tests for a new feature, especially if they flagged any ambiguous situations. The key is in giving very clear targeted instructions and then allowing the AI to execute, knowing it has an internal risk assessment system that will raise a flag if it encounters something truly unexpected or high stakes. The opportunity here isn't just about saving time, it's about shifting your cognitive load. You're no longer spending cycles on the mechanical step by step execution. Instead, you're focusing on defining the problem, setting the strategic direction, and critically reviewing the output. It pushes you further up the value chain. My no BS take here is this: this isn't AGI suddenly taking over all developer jobs tomorrow. Let's be clear about that. It's a pragmatic, highly impactful user experience and workflow improvement that makes existing AI capabilities much more accessible and powerful for multi step tasks. It brings the promise of autonomous agents much closer to reality for builders, but the real work will still be in setting precise objectives, building robust testing frameworks, and defining the intelligent boundaries for where and how this AI autonomy can be most effectively applied. It's augmentation, absolutely, but an augmentation that just got a whole lot more sophisticated for builders. If you want one practical takeaway from today's episode, here it is. Experiment. Test Claude Code Auto Mode on a targeted refactor for 60 minutes in your team. Here's how to try it in under 60 minutes. First, if you're on a Pro, Max, or Team plan for Claude Code, make sure you've enabled this new Auto Mode feature. It's designed to be the default now, but just quickly confirm your setup to use it. You want to make sure you're experiencing the full autonomous workflow. Second, choose a specific manageable refactoring task within your code base. Don't go for a massive architectural overhaul on your first try. Pick something small enough to be completed or at least largely progressed within an hour. Maybe it's converting a legacy API call to a newer standard across a small set of files, or standardizing error handling within a particular module, or even just optimizing a specific function for performance and readability. So the goal is to pick something clearly defined. Third, specify your refactor goal to Claude Code, articulate it clearly, and then initiate the workflow. Actively monitor its progress. Don't just walk away. Pay attention to how often that 13.6% human review rate actually kicks in for your specific task. Is it more or less than expected? What kinds of situations trigger a human review once it completes or asks for review? Quickly assess the quality of the generated code. Why is this specific experiment worth your time right now? It's a low risk, high reward way to experience a significant step forward in autonomous dev tools. It will give you an immediate hands on sense of its capabilities, but also its current limitations. More importantly, it helps you start building a mental model for how true agency in AI can fit into your team's workflow. It's not just about saving time on this one refactor. It's about understanding how you can leverage such tools for future, more complex tasks, and how it might fundamentally change your team's overall productivity and development velocity. This is about prototyping the future of your engineering process. That's it for today's Nobius AI briefing. If this helped, follow the show in your podcast app and share it with one builder you know. And if you've got questions or topics you want covered, connect with me on LinkedIn and send them over. See you in the next briefing.